Welcome to the Winning Move Podcast. I'm your host, Stratton Brown. I interview successful entrepreneurs from around the world to see what moves they've made in their lives to get successful and, more importantly, stay successful. I'm here to make sure you can create a better life for you and your family. Let's tune in.
Hey guys, welcome to the Winning Move Podcast. We have one of my good friends on, Michael Zuber. Before we get started, please go like, share with your friends, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're in the podcast app, make sure you hit subscribe. But how you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great.
In a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. You've been out joining masterminds and just getting better. So I look forward to hearing what that's all about.
Trying to get better. Always getting better. Before we were live, me and Mike were talking about the amount of traveling he did, and I have no idea how he did it. How many days were you traveling a year? Like 190 is what you said?
I could very easily, the last 5 years of my career, be in 3 different continents in a week. Continents, not states, not cities, continents. I could be in Europe, then Asia, then South America. It was not uncommon. So yeah, I travel a lot.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I miss my family. I feel exhausted. Then I get home and I have the jet lag, and I'm only going 2 or 3 hours in one direction, right? It's not like I'm going far.
Yeah, it's not good. Not a good living.
So let's talk about what have been the biggest things in the last month that have happened that are going to change the financial landscape.
For people, for me, for who? Just
for us. I go to you.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple things going on right now. There's now a general feeling that inflation is real.
Yep.
It's not transitory. I am here to tell you it's going to be longer and worse than people think, and I've been saying that for quite a while. And frankly, I'm on a roll, man. I've been pretty right for the last year or so. Yeah, it's pretty good. But we're in a cycle where wage inflation is real. But what that means is it's kind of a double-edged sword, double whammy, whatever you want to call it. Here's the deal. Most people watching this in the next year or so will make more money. If you're an hourly worker, you're going to make more money. You want to make more money, change jobs. What we saw last week, the consumer is happy. Why are they happy? Lots of jobs, higher income, all great things, all make you feel better. But here's the deal. Businesses run on profit. And as they are paying each and every person more, as inputs and shipping and all of these things cost more, they can only eat margin and lose money so long before they raise prices. So we've already started to see prices go up. You know, Chipotle was first, and and it's going on across the board. I mean, look at Amazon. Amazon of companies missed on earnings and missed on because of shipping. They were starting to, instead of ship stuff by trucks, try to catch up and ship by air, and air is more expensive. And look at Tesla, amazing company. What did they tell us in the last report? Damn it, we had to raise costs of our cars between $2,500 and $5,000 just to cover the cost of shipping stuff by plane instead of boats, right? All these chip delays and all these things. So like Tesla's like, screw it. It can't take a month to get to me. We'll jump on a 747 or 777 or whatever, and we're going to fly it. Well, that stuff's expensive. So yeah, inflation is coming. And then you talk about asset inflation and rent and food and gas, and it is going to go on the rest of this year. It's going to go on next year. I think it gets worse, not better. And that's the downside. Is it's unfortunate that a lot of people watching this, or maybe not the ones watching this, but the ones that should be watching this, they're going to feel great when their income goes up 10%. But when their lifestyle goes up 15%, they're actually behind. And that's where most people are going to be, because they don't have assets that produce income. They're living the high life. They're expanding their lifestyle as their means expand. And it won't be a pretty picture. Inflation is the largest tax we have, and it's happening faster and worse than certainly anybody, younger than me has ever seen, right? If you were an adult in the 70s, you've seen it. But most of us today, if it happened when, I was born in the early 70s, I didn't know. Right. But yeah, it's going to be a bad couple of years, no doubt.
So what happened in the 70s?
So the 70s is generally blamed on, there's a couple of things that happened. First off, we went off the gold standard, where
Okay.
dollars really became fiat currency versus backed by gold. That is a big deal. But the real thing, when you go scratch at it, there was something called the oil embargo. Basically, Saudi Arabia and OPEC said, "Hey, we're going to stop. We're going to stop selling you oil at such a cheap price." And there was actually an embargo for 4 months.
Mhm.
And if you were an adult in that time frame, you remember gas lines.
Oh, that's when that was. Okay. And
Yeah,
like everybody was in the gas lines. There'd
Yeah.
be no gas.
And you actually
Okay.
had, because I remember I was this is like one of my earliest memories. Based on your last digit of your license plate, you could get gas because they wanted to alternate, right? Like odds on this number and evens on this number. I mean, it was crazy stuff. And then a 4-month oil embargo actually caused a decade of inflation, because when the oil embargo was over, oil set at a new price. Everything in the US had oil at that point because we were making stuff. Yeah, it was pretty bad. But this blip we're going to have here is not an oil embargo. It's not 4 months. It's actually employment hours or labor, right? We have almost a labor strike, right? We don't have enough people wanting to work. There's a lot of jobs. The only way you fix it, you raise salaries. So you're seeing people raise salaries across the board, frontline, medium, high. It's just everywhere. People are competing for dollars. If you are an employee or if you're a union, look at Deere, right? John Deere. If you're a union, strike now. You're going to just extract a lot of increased pay. So the employee has more power today than they had in my entire adult life.
Wow. I think the inflation thing is really scary. Hey, Mark. Mark says, it's me again, always watching and learning from y'all. Thank y'all for the time value given. Thanks so much for tuning in, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
So the big thing that everybody was talking about this weekend is a lot of e-commerce guys. Right. This last mastermind was a lot of e-commerce people. The mastermind before that was self-storage. Okay. But the two main things, right? Supply chain, building costs are through the fucking roof.
Yep.
And then they were all talking about inflation, and they think within at least a year to 2 years, something has to pop. Like with the Ray Dalio thought process of the next one is the big one. Like he's like, I've studied for years. He's like, bro, no matter what, the next one's the big one. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, so I've read Ray Dalio. He's one of the two guys that if I see a headline, I read it, right? Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio. Just it doesn't matter what it is. If their name's in the headline, I'm going to click on the article, right? They both have earned my respect to that level. I don't know. I don't see it being the big one. I think, frankly, I think we've proven how we can beat inflation. It won't be fun. It will not be fun. Most people will be hurt. But how do you beat inflation? You raise interest rates. And you don't have to raise them very far before it gets very uncomfortable. We are a debt-laden country. One of the reasons that we can issue all the money we are now is because debt is so inexpensive.
Yep.
Let's just say, I don't know what the government pays, but let's say they pay 2%. Right now, because we're 130% of GDP, that's how much debt we have. GDP is 100, debt's 130.
Okay.
The reason we could do that is because interest rates are 2%, right? We're still servicing our debt, if you will.
Yeah.
2% goes to 4%, 4.5%.
So what happens there? What happens?
Well, we just start paying our debt. We raise taxes. There's only 3 outcomes. You default on the debt.
Which will never happen.
I don't believe, at least not in my lifetime.
No, I don't think it'll ever happen.
Right. So that's one. That would be the big one. That's Ray Dalio. They call it a debt jubilee. All the countries, all the G20 are going to get together. They're going to shake hands. They're going to wipe people's debt. Party starts anew. That's the debt jubilee. That's the big one. 2, you inflate your way out of it. What they could say is, okay, we have to raise rates, but we will let inflation run. You think inflation is today, let's call it 8%. Let's say they raise rates from 2 to 4%. But if inflation jumps to 20, they don't care. It's paying off with cheaper dollars in the future. They can still do that. Or 3, they will tax it out of existence. So I believe they'll just tax it out of existence. And I think they're going to let inflation run further, which is why I like real estate.
Right, because that is the only hard asset that can run with it.
Yeah, it'll run
the whole time.
It is. Well, let's be very clear. Real estate with income. If you're like Chinese citizens and you buy an apartment, you don't rent it, you just own it, you're stupid, right? It's not producing income. But if you have apartments or self-storage or anything that produces income, especially if you have a year lease, you're good to go, right? Reset the lease every year, let inflation go from 1,000 to 1,200 to 1,500, whatever. Your debt's fixed for 30 years. Don't you ever get anything but 30-year debt. Dude, you're happy. The only people that loved the 1970s were people who bought real estate in 1970 and 1971. Lowest rates, lowest price, just huge cash flow by 79. It is such a simple scenario. So I don't think the big one happens. I think they let inflation get bigger because they need to, right? This debt is a problem, but you can inflate your way out of it. And I believe taxes are going to go up for everyone across everything.
Didn't Biden change up his whole tax plan though?
He is so out of touch. It's Congress. Yeah, they're not sure what they're doing yet.
So Biden didn't do anything because the man doesn't know what's going on, right? He talks about
he's not in charge, right? It's the Congress is the 100 senators. It's really the Senate, right, that is going to say what can or can't happen.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're talking about it was 3.5, it was 6 trillion, then 3.5, now 1.5. Who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, they're confused because they're trying to pass this via something called the budget reconciliation, and this is important. If they were able to, they can raise taxes. All they need is 60 senators to say yes.
Yes.
But they can't because it's 50-50 split. But you can do something called a budget reconciliation, which you only need a majority, which would be 51 because the vice president is a tie, breaks the tie.
Oh.
Right? So there's 50-50, but 50 if there is a tie, 51 comes from the VP, right? So the Democrats have the tiebreaker.
VP.
That's why Manchin, I think it's is it Jeff Manchin? Anyways, the senator out of West Virginia has so much power because he's kind of he's an independent. He's certainly not a Democrat. He kind of leans Republican, but he's the voice. Whatever he says whatever passes his test is going to happen. It's not Bernie Sanders, the guy on the way right who wants to spend $6 trillion and give everybody everything. It's Manchin. He has all the power. So it's going to be interesting.
And so what do you think is going on with supply chain shit? Like a lot of people don't know what's going on. Everybody's guesstimating. Some people think the government's trying to ruin America.
No.
Like you can go deep down the conspiracy theory train.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people in my family who go that way. I don't believe that's true. I believe capitalism. There's a lot of people out there that want to make a lot of money and they sell stuff. They're not happy that the supply chain is messed up. Bro,
it's messed up a lot of stuff.
Oh, it has. There's no question. Cars. I mean, think about auto manufacturers, right? It cascades from there. But back to what happened. I think what we have seen is just-in-time inventory, which is what we have been running for 30 years. Japan made it popular. The whole idea of just-in-time inventory is you're recycling your money faster and you're not keeping large inventory on hand.
You're just shipping it in like, okay, bro.
Yeah, it comes in the door. It's, but in 2 days, it's in something and we're shipping it out the other. In the past, you would buy enough supply. You'd have supply for a month, right? So you always had this big supply. Just-in-time inventory does not work well when anything jumbles up, right? So I think there's been a couple of things. First and foremost, the manufacturing components, right? They have had very robust shutdowns, right? When China gets one case, they shut it down. They just shut everything down, right? They don't want to have a big widespread, right? For example, Chinese Disneyland. I heard about that the other day. They had a Halloween celebration. 34,000 people. One person tested positive. They shut it down. In order for 34,000 people to go home, they had to stand in line and take a test. That don't happen here. But it does at the inputs. If you're buying stuff from China and suddenly one of their manufacturing plants shut down or one of their component manufacturers shuts down, it blows up for months because you can't make it up. The second thing is I do think demand is strong, which means you have supply hiccups and then you have demand strong. And now what I think is happening, Stratton, is people are planning for supply problems. So they're doing what's called double ordering. If you're a grocery store and you usually order 100 cartons of milk, you're now ordering 200 because you're not going to get 200, but you want to get 75 instead of 40.
Yep.
I think that's happening a lot. So demand is artificially higher into a very tight supply. And by the way, then you got to get the stuff off the ships and off the containers, and trucking is short and crane operators are short. we've had a fragile supply chain for years. Just like lots of things, this health crisis has shown us just how brittle and broken a lot of our
Economy
supply chain is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Whoever this is, Facebook user, two of my favorite people. I'd love to know your name. Thank you so much.
I want to know your name too. You're awesome.
And so the other thing that a real estate guy was talking about is like, we will not see a real estate crash because we are 4 million short in inventory. Like, just we have a housing shortage. Nothing will crash the market because there's too much demand, flat out. Like, there's just not enough supply and there's too much demand. Nothing will change that.
Yeah,
even if rates go up, like there's still so much of a shortage.
Yeah, I think he's right. I do. I would love to tell you there's a crash coming because I'm ready for it. Right, I'm ready like I've never been before. It's just not going to happen. Too much demand, not enough supply. We will have a slowdown. There will be some areas that are in trouble, but there's no crash. I mean, anybody who wants to call a crash of greater than 10% next year, reach out. Let me know. We'll put some money on the line. We'll donate some money to charity. And I'll let you know where to write the check because you're going to be wrong.
What's going on, Sean? Sean Underwood saying hi. What
Hey,
would you? So, what things have you called in the last year? Because you've called a lot, dude.
I have.
You definitely called a lot.
I have. So I've called inflation. I've called no housing crash. I've called rent increases. Called appreciation many months. I've already started pointing out the inventory increase, why it's increasing. I've called price drops. Yeah, it's been a really good run. Yeah, the daily financial news. It is really fun when you're right, and when you're right, lots of times in a row, you get a big head. But yeah, it's been kind of fun.
That's okay. So we got supply chain crash. Are you putting any more money into crypto?
No.
Still no? Only real estate to hedge?
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I don't mind crypto, but first off, I had the assets to do it. Second, I'm not a trader. I wouldn't even call myself an investor in crypto. I'm a guy who bought an insurance policy.
Yeah, and I'm not saying trading. I don't think when I buy crypto, like the crypto is there to grow and it can grow at an exponential rate, and it is an inflation hedge.
Absolutely, no question. My crypto's done great, right? I put 6 figures to work. It's up over 100%. It's awesome. But no, I don't. I haven't put any more in. So no.
Have you been buying more real estate? Have there been any more deals?
I bought a duplex about 6 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
For how much?
185, 184, I think.
That sounds high.
Yeah, 2 houses, 1 lot.
Okay.
I had the money. It was a 6% return for me, right? Because I got debt. I got debt at 3%. Made sense. I'll do deals at 6. I mean, it's not a home run, but it's not 4%. And again, what am I going to do? Keep the 90 grand in the bank at 0?
Right. Well, losing 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, losing 8 every month.
Yeah. So I would do that. I mean, I would like to do better. I'm certainly looking to do better, but I hadn't done a deal.
You hadn't done a deal in like 18 months.
Yeah, a buy and hold. Yeah, in about 18 months. Yeah, that's the first one I held in a while. Yep.
Are you starting to see more inventory come to you? For us, like we aren't seeing that much of a difference.
Yeah, I'm seeing more stuff on the MLS. It's not quite priced right yet, but that's a start. That's where it all starts. For me, it's the MLS. I built my entire portfolio before I retired out of the MLS. Never did a mail campaign, text, phone calls, anything. It was like, all right, I'm going to look at the mail. I'm going to look at the MLS today, right? Realtor.com, Redfin, Zillow, just every day, daily discipline. So I'm starting to see more inventory, and that makes me feel better.
Okay. Has your course price gone up yet? I haven't.
I just started telling people November 1st, it's going up January 1st. I'm giving them a 2 months heads up, but yeah, it'll go up January 1st.
And how much is that course right now?
$299. It's ridiculously cheap.
It is the best, most jam-packed course I've ever witnessed in my life.
It's crazy. And I've got like 12 other multimillionaires adding bonus content. That's why the course is going up, because I got 3, 4, 5 more rock stars in the background building stuff. I'm like, dude, this has got to go up. And oh, by the way, if you buy it now, you get that other stuff for free. I don't charge you later. Just it's a one-time thing. Get in. It's great.
And how many of your students are closing deals every day now? Like you're holding up postcards every morning.
I am. Yeah, almost every morning. I would say 6 out of 7 days a week. We have now done, I think it's 268 deals out of my 500, and we've done that in 19 weeks. So it's 12 a week, 13 a week, man. It's freaking awesome. You know how fun that is for me?
That's why
12 deals a week.
Lives. You're changing people's lives, dude.
I get emails. They're just, I mean, some of these emails make me want to cry. I mean, it's like I'm honored to be just a little part of that. Believe me, if you're following my world and you're doing what I say, you're doing the work. I'm glad I'm the inspiration. I'm glad I can bring in some rationale, but I challenge you to do daily work 20 minutes a day. And if you do it, you'll find a deal. It's just a question of when. And I got people almost every day going, I get it now. Thank you. It's the highlight of my week. It just is. Like just this morning, we got 3 deals just this morning. Cards have to go out today. Nick, Zach, and Nick. Nick got 2. So
is this all nation? And do you have like where they're all primarily focused?
I don't know. They're all over the U.S. Some people are in Canada. So I've mailed cards to Asia, Australia, Canada, South America. I will mail them wherever I can. I don't care. It's I don't know. Like mailing to Asia, I think it was like $2. I'm like, who cares? Mail it. If you're doing the work in Asia and you get a deal, I want to send you a card. That's awesome.
Really cool. Do you bring any students on your channel?
I've interviewed them occasionally when they want to. Yeah, I have a playlist called Students or Student Reviews or something. Yeah, it's awesome. And we really are changing. One rental at a time is when I created it, it was more of a hobby, but it is now fundamentally changing people's lives. I now get roughly 60,000 views on YouTube and 70 to 80,000 listens on podcasts. We're almost impacting 200,000 people a week with one rental at a time. That's just blowing me away. It's pretty awesome.
Bro, that's bananas. And
it's bananas.
I don't even think you've tapped into what you can blow it up into.
Yeah, if I was
yeah,
exactly. If I was willing to sprinkle some real gas on this, yeah, I don't know where it could go. And that's part of the reasons I talk to guys like you, because I still tell you I'm not an entrepreneur.
You're for sure, bro. You're a commissioned salesman, entrepreneur.
Dude, I'm a hunter. That's for damn sure. I'm comfortable eating what I kill. That is for damn sure. Oh yeah,
right. You're an entrepreneur, and you say that. And if any commission people are watching this, you're still an entrepreneur because you got to come up with creative ways to get the sales done on top of going out and hunting.
Yeah, but hunting. I have another. It was I always got paid, right? I had a salary, and again, the salary is the drug that keeps you mediocre.
Yeah,
you're an entrepreneur, right? You don't sell, you don't get paid. That's an entrepreneur. Now, I couldn't survive on my base, but I had one, right? Yeah. It was usually a 60-40 split, right? 66% commission, 40% base. And boy, when I blew it out. But no, I'm just not at your level. Maybe someday I will be, but I fundamentally believe like Gary Vee. I think some people are just born that way. I'm trying to work my way there. I'm still not there. And the funny thing is, since I've retired, I went from having one stream of income. I think I have 6 or 7 now, and I don't even know what half the stuff I'm doing. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, let's talk about that. Well, so you commented you love the losing something to gain more focus. Mm-hmm. You legitimately lost something to gain more focus because you were stepping over dollars to pick up pennies. Mm-hmm. In a nutshell, right? Because now you have so much knowledge. Your YouTube channel is so strong. You can have such a wide presence. Hey, send me deals. You get deals. Like exactly. If you really wanted to buy deals nationwide, you could buy deals nationwide.
No
like,
question.
Hey, this is what we're doing. If you want to start a fund, you could do that, right? So you're really stepping over dollars to pick up pennies.
Yeah, I probably could. I could definitely start a fund if I wanted to, for sure.
Well, let's talk about we were talking about that last week. Well, 2 weeks ago when we were supposed to talk about the different forms of income and how you built them all.
Yeah, so this is something I want people to realize, right? Because I forget who I was talking to, but basically there's never been a better time to monetize what you love. For me, what I love is the game of money. Yep. But I don't care what it is. You can love making jam, coaching baseball, painting, whatever you love. There's never been a better time to monetize that. So let me just tell you my simple story. I retire from work at 45. I have enough rental income, which at that point is the only income I have to survive the rest of my life, as long as I don't do something stupid or expand my means. I'm good. Now I have time though, right? The whole work 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. I don't have that. I got hours to fill. First thing I do, I start flipping properties. It's pretty. The key for me is I took what I loved, which was the game, and I just went little things. A lot of people find this side hustles, and it's like a little bit over here, I'm a little bit over there, a little bit over. For me, watch how this all relates to each other and
It all
expands.
builds on itself, bro.
Yeah, dude, it all
It
does.
all builds on itself.
I didn't realize this until you and I talked, right? So again, okay, I start flipping properties. I've now done, I think I just added up 58 or 59. I just sold my last one like 2 weeks ago. So I did, let's call it 60 for easy math, 20 a year in 3 years. I don't know. Let's say I made 25 grand a house, for example. That's $500,000 a year. Right? A year on top of what I was already okay with rentals. Put it on the stack. Again, it's highly taxed, and so I pay the tax man a bunch. Next, I decide I want to tell my story. I realized that I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, but there's never been anybody that says what happens after Rich Dad Poor Dad. I write this book over my shoulder. It exceeds all my expectations. Well over 10,000 copies sold nationwide. Every book makes me a couple of bucks. Cool, right? Oh, by the way, people don't only read books, they listen. So I put the book on Audible. Another source of income, right? Then people read the book because the book's not how-to. The book is a story. Here's 15 years. Now people go, how'd you do it? How'd you do it? I put my email in the book. A lot of people reaching out. So I create a course. It was 100, then 200, now 300. That's another thing of income. Then people are asking me, how do you do your money? So I created a get your money right course. That's another source. Then people like the no alligators in my book, which is a shirt and a logo. Do that. I do a YouTube channel. That's monetized. Then you take the YouTube videos and you strip out the audio and put that on a podcast. Now that's monetized. All these things are together. What do I do every day? I create 5 pieces of original content on YouTube, and I do that by talking to my friends. That's it. That's all I do. And everything else spends for that. Every one of those is, other than the shirts, is thousands of dollars a month.
Yep.
It's just, and it's going into one other account. I don't even look at it maybe once or twice a year. It's crazy what's happening.
Exponentially grow it if you really wanted to. Like, hey, you know what? I want to work 2 more hours a day.
I probably could, yeah. But again,
you don't have to, and you don't want to.
I don't have to. And again, I'm so lucky. My clock gets up at 5:30 to 6:15 every day. My wife sleeps till 9. So from 6:30 a.m. till about 9:30, I'm doing my thing. I'm in my world. And then after that, I shut down, spend some time with her, go work out, have lunch. It's a wonderful life. I am truly blessed or lucky or whatever you want to call it. It's pretty awesome. But the key here is you can monetize what you love. You just stay true to what it is. And again, it didn't always work. YouTube took a while for it to take off. I've been doing 5 videos a day for more than 2 years.
Oh yeah.
Look it up. There's almost 5,000 videos there now. I'm nowhere. I mean, there's lots of, I could go bigger on YouTube if I wanted to sell my soul.
If you wanted to edit. And bro, you haven't even edited. You haven't done anything.
Done nothing. I don't do anything. I hit go, stop. If my phone drops or my dog barks, who cares? Yeah, it's crazy.
But I love the authenticity of it. And I love the fact that you don't edit. You don't even make I consider your channel a fucking news channel. Your channel is like it's like a news channel. You're not doing how-tos or anything else like that. Like, hey, if you want how-tos, go buy the course. Like it's a news channel. It's like,
yeah, and I try to stay in the middle. You won't. I don't mind. Again, people always try to. You're a Democrat. You're a Republican. You're a conservative. You're a liberal. I'm like, good. You have no idea what I am. I want to make some money and take care of people. I don't care about red or blue, left or right. It's all nonsense to me.
Unless it's Gavin Newsom.
And yeah, well, again, that's a person, not a Democrat. It's Gavin Newsom.
Person.
Yeah, he's a liar. He's a cheater. I mean, he's just a bad human being. Yeah. Unless you're Gavin, then I don't like you.
So, and did you plan on all these things building on each other?
No, I had no idea what I was doing, man. I just talked about what I love, and people came to me. I never wanted to create a course until 150 people asked me to. I never wanted to write a book until 100 people told me to. I never wanted to do YouTube until I had nothing else to do all day. If I didn't do YouTube, Stratton, I would have got a job.
Yeah.
I needed something to do for an hour a day that I felt like I was making progress. That was the key. 60 minutes, 90 minutes a day, 7 days a week. Mike Zuber feels like he's helping people. And now It's 150,000 people a week. It's amazing. And I can't wait till it's 200 and 250 and 500 and a million people. We're going to get there because I ain't going to stop.
And we need to get rid of Dave Ramsey.
Dude, let's talk about some of the most horrible advice I've ever heard, especially if you're deep in debt and you don't know how to live without a credit card, go to Dave Ramsey. But if you want to be an investor,
else, dude, if you want to do anything in life, period, I think Dave Ramsey, I say this a lot, Dave Ramsey creates more poor people than anything else. Poor, unhappy people who cannot enjoy their lives.
Yeah, my vision of a Dave Ramsey is you're 65 years old and you got $1 million, but you didn't do anything for 50 years
at all. And that $1 million is now inflated and it's worth
it's inflated away. Some of you are dead, right? If you start at 25, not everybody makes 65. It's how it works. Some of you are unhealthy. Some of you had divorce and you had to split it in half anyway. Sure, it works out for some people, but I would rather bet on myself, bet on learning my market, and be done in 10. You follow one rental at a time and honestly do the work, you can be done in 10 years. Took me 15. I had to replace 2 six-figure incomes. Most people don't have to do that. Yeah, 10 years. And if you start at 18, oh my God, this big thing I'm working on called the cheat code to wealth. If you are 18 years old, never go to college, you can be financially free by 25.
Yeah.
It's just, if I had to do it again, I would trade everything I have today for an 18-year-old if I could know what I know now. Oh, it'd be bonkers.
Oh, it'd be insane. I would have never played sports.
Really?
No, I wouldn't.
Like sports. Any sports? Don't you think you got your discipline from there?
Yeah, but if you look at Stratton Brown and who he is, he'd have to develop it somehow, right? Like if I apply it to whatever it is, I'm so anal, angry, whatever. You got fucked up as a kid by someone telling you, right? The focus of it, to where I feel I would develop it without sports. But and I'd say this weekend, I was with a guy who's 28 years old. He has a company that has been running for 5 years. At 17, he made $1 million, like $1 million net to him. He makes a couple $100 million net a year, and he's 28, and his company, he's worth like almost $1 billion.
Respect,
right? Respect.
I can't even fathom that. That's so beyond my. I can't. Just awesome.
I didn't even know it was possible. That was the thing. Like I talked about it in my podcast the other day. I was like, until I met him, I didn't even know something like that would even be humanly possible or real. You read about it in a magazine, you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah, that one lucky guy. That's amazing. Yeah. That's one of the things I have a problem dreaming big.
It's scary because you don't want to fail. For me, I don't want to put it out there. I don't want to put it out there and fail, but like, who cares? Like, okay, people judge you, but like, do they really matter?
Yeah. I had big dreams for, if you're a commission sales rep, the only thing that keeps you going is dreaming. But I have lost that fire after I retired. I'm now busy. Yeah, maybe. I don't have it. Like some of our closest friends, like Jason Pritchard, for example, right? In Fresno, right? I call him the best investor in Fresno. Him and his wife, you can still see they have the fire.
Yeah.
He has it. He just does. And her, Jennifer. And they're like a power couple. It's amazing. It's going to be amazing to see Aaron and Cletus. They have it. They keep going. I got to find it. That's one thing I'm going to try to do between now and the end of the year is see if I can't create a spark in something. I'm happy, but I don't have that thing that I'm reaching for or stretching for. It kind of bothers me, but maybe I don't know. It's weird, I guess.
I ran into it the other day because I'm one company I'm going to step completely out of and I'm just going to let it grow. And I was taking up the majority of my time. So now I'm like sitting there during the day, like, what the fuck do I do?
I know.
Because it'll still make me money and I make money other ways. But then like, that's where I was at. So like, what do I really want to reach for? What do I want to do that can meet what I want to do? Mm-hmm. It's a weird place to be.
It is. It's really bizarre.
Yeah. I think for you, you just have to like, oh, well, I want to go buy this. But then you're so good at what you do now, you can just manifest it and
probably, raise
the course $5. I can go buy it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
to where
Yeah.
you're in a place that not very many people are. I think it's fascinating. Who else is retired, has all the rental income they need, works for 4 hours a day if they really don't want to, and you do what you love.
Yeah.
Or do you
Every
really,
day. Every day.
this is like a philosophical question. Like, do you really need more?
No.
Like,
I don't.
do you
No.
feel like you need more? Like, do you even feel like you need a fire? Or is it because you're surrounding yourself with people who have the fire and you're like, oh, well, that might be cool.
Well, I think there's a couple of things. I lived in that environment for so long. And believe me, the first year without it was awesome, right? Decompress. The first year, like 45 to 46, and I left at 45, it was, you're like, oh, like you do. You feel like the world's off your shoulders. It's like, damn, this is freaking awesome. But now it's been 3 years, almost 4 years. And I don't think I'm thinking big enough. Like I just said, helping 150,000 people organically. What if it's 1.5 million people? What would that look like? So I got to find that thing. It's certainly not money. I had all the money I needed. I figured out I could flip and make $500,000 a year. Doesn't do anything for me. Now I'm making, 15 to 30 grand on all these other things. I don't need that either. I don't know. It's not money.
I think the helping people thing would be good though, because I think that is what drives you. So if you're like, oh man, we can help out a ton more people if we do this, this, and this.
That's why the positive impact score is so important for me every Sunday.
Yeah.
I put it out there. I put it out there for more than 2 years now. Every Sunday, I will tell you how one rental at a time is going. YouTube views, podcasts, books, book reviews, courses, Facebook group, and then deals. That's these cards, right? And they scale. We're trying to score 2 million points a week. So, yeah, that's probably it. Maybe next year we don't do 500, we do 1,500. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's going to be helping people. I think it has to be almost.
It has to be.
It's not more units, although I will grow when they make sense. It's got to be helping people.
I think it'll have to be units with the way things are going. You're going to have to move something, dude.
Yeah, probably. Well, yeah. I keep looking every day. I would love to buy another 100 units.
Have you thought about switching asset classes or going anywhere else? You're like, I like Fresno.
I'm good. I'm happy. Don't need to go. Love my team. I have the network. The hardest thing to build is a team.
Yeah, and you got it all dialed in.
Yeah, and again, the first 5 years, we only had like anywhere between 1 and 6 units. It was horrible firing people. Can you imagine firing people with hundreds of units? Oh, no thanks. I'm good.
Yeah, that's true. Michael Butler says you can absolutely hit 1.5 million.
I love Michael. He's awesome.
We need to come up with a goal. We'll come up with a goal. Well, I'll talk to you after this too.
Yeah, I do. I need something that I can believe in that feels good. Money's not going to be it. I'm long past that.
Right.
Units aren't going to be it. Long past. A car is not. I already buying your dream car is awesome. I've done it. Right. Having season tickets to the Warriors. Done it. Right. Yeah. Done it. I got no more. I got nothing else on my list. I've done everything that I've done stuff I couldn't imagine doing growing up. I don't have anything else.
Michael Butler started gifting a home. We tried and we didn't even have people reach out.
Yeah, I tried.
Michael was about it. Zuber was about gifting an entire house. What was it? Last Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
Last Christmas he was about it. And we didn't have anybody like reach out to like someone who needed a home.
No.
And he was 100% for it. He said gift a home on terms.
Mm-hmm.
That is a possible thing. Any big life tips for a 23-year-old? I'm about to start learning from Pace Morby's course.
The most valuable course or training or whatever you want to call it I've ever taken, something that made me $1 million. $1 million was a class I took in junior college called public speaking.
Yeah.
I was an introvert. It is hard for people to believe, but Mike Zuber was an introvert. I would walk into a room, and if I didn't say a word, I would be totally happy. Public speaking made me a millionaire. Go get uncomfortable. I don't care if you don't like it. Screw it. Go get uncomfortable.
For me, bro, I wish I would have developed. I think at this point, hard skills are worthless. Like computer skills, anything else. If you can learn sales and leadership and convince everyone else with the computer skills to work for you, and then you can help them achieve their goals if they work for you, you'll never have to. You'll be doing what you want for the rest of your life.
It is selling.
And those are the two skills you had: sales and leadership.
Yep. Sales is a lot of people think sales is slimy and icky, and because we all grew up thinking used car salesmen suck.
Yeah.
The world is goes around because of salespeople. It just does. You know, it just does. You're always selling. You're selling to meet your significant other, right? You're selling to go on dates. You're selling at the job. You're selling. People don't call it because they think it's a 4-letter word, but it's extremely valuable.
And the public speaking is only going to make you more comfortable in sales.
Well, let's be clear. If you can't communicate,
Yep.
you can't sell.
You cannot sell.
Period.
Marjorie Mason for the home. Do you know what he means?
Is that a person, I guess? Or is that an organization?
I have no clue. Mike, what do you mean?
Probably a person. Somebody needs a home, maybe.
Yeah, Alan, from everyone I've known, sales and leadership are the two things you need to know no matter what you're going to go into. Even, let's talk about the people from Google. I was watching an ad. They're like, if you can't write copy, all copy is the sales and words, then you can have the best product in the world and it doesn't matter. The only person who can sell shit without selling is Elon Musk. And at that point, he's still a really, really good marketer.
Well, let's be clear. Elon Musk is a marketer.
Right? He is a marketer.
He is. You think he designed one thing in SpaceX or Tesla or PayPal? He's a marketer. He is 100% a marketer, and he's top 10 all time probably.
Yeah, and Elon Musk had to go to Russia and like buy rockets from Russia to start SpaceX, and he had to sell them on that. Like, there's communication is key to where like you think it's nonsense, right? Like you don't think sales, talking to people doesn't mean shit. I think it's number one.
I would agree.
Organization for single mothers, I believe, is what Marjorie Mason is.
We'll look it up.
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else? Anybody else have anything? We got 9 viewers on here.
Hi, 9 viewers.
Do you have anything else to leave them by, Mike?
No, I would just tell you, if you have a hobby or a passion that you've been doing for the last 10 or 15 or 20 years, or maybe since you were a kid, there's a lot of money in that. You just have to find your tribe or your group. You get 1,000 people.
Yep.
I don't care if it's you make the best peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I don't care what it is. You can make an extra couple of $1,000 a month. And for most people, a couple of $1,000 is life-changing.
Life-changing.
I've created 6 income streams today that each are over $1,000 a month every month. And I believe everybody can do what I did. You just continue to talk about what you love. And you do that long enough, you build an audience of 1,000 people. And from there, it's easy.
100%. Oh, let's talk about this real quick. Elon Musk calling out the UN.
Oh, I love that.
Dude. All right, that was my fucking favorite.
Oh, I did. I actually said on my daily financial news yesterday, I think it was like the first 2 minutes, like, hey, I generally don't give Elon Musk a lot of credit. He doesn't circle in my influence, blah, blah, blah. But when Elon Musk did this, he is my boy, right? He basically, UN basically says, billionaires, and they actually called out Elon Musk and said, hey, $6 billion saves the lives of 140 million or 45 million people. Right? And they did all this hoopla to scare you. Elon Musk says, and I quote, if you publicly prove the math, I'll write you the check. Dude! All right, mothers, you want to call me out? Show the math to the world, and if everybody agrees the math works, I'll write the check.
Right, I'll write the check right now. I'll sell all the stock.
Yeah, he basically said, I got you. And basically what came back is, oh, whoops, maybe we don't have the math, and maybe this and maybe that. Like,
is that what they said back? I didn't even see what they said back.
Well, they haven't officially said anything, but you could see the UN yesterday said, we were not trying to embarrass Elon Musk. That's what they said. I was like, oh, you got owned. Elon Musk for the win. And I believe him. I absolutely believe him. I don't think he gives a rat's ass about money. I think if they came out and showed the math on how they could save lives, I truly believe Elon would sell stock and write the check. I really do.
If they showed him all the open accounting, and so that he said like 10%, like the $6 billion to Elon Musk is legitimately like nothing. Like it's
2% of his net worth. It doesn't matter.
It's insane. There's no reason he wouldn't do it.
Oh no, to save 45 million people's lives, of course he would do it. Right? But the catch is you have to do it publicly. And not a lot of people like to show the math because that's the beauty of all this kind of statistics and all this nonsense. It has an enormous amount of assumptions. And once you put out assumptions, it's not really math. And people can challenge assumptions. So I hope the UN puts it out there. Let's see. I hope they do it. I hope Elon Musk in 30 days writes the check because it means that they've proven it and he's going to truly try to help 45 million people stay alive. It'll be an awesome day for humanity if it happens. I have my suspicions.
It all to be on the internet though, because
he will.
The government's the worst spender of all time.
Oh, no question. Elon will make it public. He's like, no, I want everybody to look at this, audit it down, show where the money's going at all times. He's not going to let it be private. He wants it to blow up. He wants people to show where the money's going. That's what he wants.
Well, and I was reading the other day that, what is it? Like the total net worth of all the billionaires is X. The government spends like that in 6 months.
Yeah, this whole idea of taxing the billionaires is nonsense. It's likely unconstitutional because you can't do that. The Senate and the House, the politicians are comical in their ignorance. They want to sell a story. It's sales. It is sales.
It's sales.
How do they get votes? Here's the deal, folks. Every politician except a second-term president doesn't care. He can't be reelected. Every other politician wants to get reelected. How do they do that? Well, there's a lot more poor people than rich. And as of today, every vote counts the same. So they go out and say, let me give you this, and let me give you that, and let me give you this. And oh, by the way, I'll take it from them, and la. Because they're trying to get more votes, man. It's comical. They're just trying to buy votes.
Yeah, they're just trying to. Sales. There you go, Alan. Sales. The UN guy said that they should meet in person, not over the internet.
Elon Musk won't do it. He wants it all public. He doesn't want this behind. He doesn't want behind doors nonsense.
No.
He says, hey, you said 6 billion fixes it, motherfucker. Put it in the internet. Let's see. Dickhead. I mean, because he's pissed. He doesn't want to be called out for this. He is so irritated with Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. Calling him out by name. He's like, no, you called me out, Mr. UN. Put it out there. They're chicken shit. They won't do it.
They won't do it, bro. All right. One last question. What state would you move forth for both business and lifestyle if you're my age and single? Texas.
No, I'd probably go somewhere cheaper. Texas is pretty expensive today.
Florida?
I'd actually, if I had it'd either be Alabama or Tennessee.
Okay.
Tennessee has no state income tax. Alabama, I think Alabama, I'd go to Alabama. No question. I think there's more PhDs and rocket scientists in Alabama than people give credit. I think the average, it's crazy. NASA and a lot of, they have a whole, like Huntsville, I think it is. I think it's Huntsville has more PhDs than any city except the Silicon Valley. Yeah. Wow. It's pretty, I think I'd go to Alabama, probably Huntsville.
And how old are you? You're 23?
Mm-hmm. That's what I said.
I was 23. Moved to Miami.
That might be good. Yeah, somewhere in Florida wouldn't be bad either.
Move to Miami, start an online business, throw all that money from your online business into real estate. Go hard for 5 years.
Or Puerto Rico. How about that? Go live in Puerto Rico. State income tax, federal. I don't know. There's some kind of advantages to living in Puerto Rico.
I don't like that though, because you got to give up your citizenship and then really.
Oh, is that what I think?
Yeah. Well, you have to let go of your citizenship and then okay, well, how much money is your citizenship worth? The money doesn't matter at that point, right? Like how much? Okay, you pay 12 million in taxes. If you're paying 12 million in taxes, you're fucking fine.
Yeah, exactly. You can write that check. You're probably okay.
Bro, you're fine. Go buy some more real estate and you can get around it anyways, right? Like just go get a better financial advisor.
Yeah, go buy more real estate, depreciate it away. Yeah. You're right.
All right. That's all we got, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Mike, where can they find out more about you?
One rental at a time. Put that in your Google search bar. You should find a website, YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff. One quick thing. Last thing I'm doing
is let's talk about the book.
I bought a bunch of books. I'm actually selling them for $50, which is actually the cost on Amazon, except I will autograph them. If you ever wanted an autograph from an author, one rental at a time or 15 conversation with millionaires, reach out to me, send me $50 on PayPal, and I will mail them to you. I bought 100 books of each to goose my score on Amazon. So I'm trying to cheat the system.
I love it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Winning Move Podcast. I hope it helps you make all the right moves in your life and business. Please make sure to go like and subscribe on any podcast platform that you're listening to, and make sure to go follow me on Instagram @StratDaddy. Thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you soon.